It's your girl, Britt, and I am here today with one of my most closest friends, my audio engineer, my co-host, my producer, Alejandro. I am so happy to have you here with me today in front of the camera instead of behind the scenes. Be the amazing person that you are. It's just really great for me to sit here and do this with you. And today we will be talking about something that's really near and dear to our hearts. That was basically our training wheels. That was basically our walker into the spiritual journey that we have decided to do. Some stuff we haven't personally got into, but we do want to make this exposure for y'all. We want to be able to make it easier for y'all to see what resonate with y'all when it comes to these different spiritual tools. So we will be mentioning most of them as possible. So yeah, today is all about spiritual tools and the inner compass overall. So I'm really excited. I am going to have Ali elaborate on the most part when it comes to everything. Ali has helped me expand and has gave me a lot of knowledge, a lot of wisdom when it comes to spiritual tools, because I ain't gonna lie, I'm still, walking with him a little bit, you know what I mean? But so he's really great, really dope, and I would definitely take some time to speak on it if I personally, resonate with it too. So, Alejandro.
Hi, Brittany. Hi, Brittany. Yeah, the scene's so surreal. Honestly, being here and, again, being behind the scenes and stuff, and we'll definitely probably talk about it in a future episode, but to see how much, this project has, grown and stuff, I just also wanted to add a couple tidbits here and there, as a co-host, co-producer, not just being the background, person. And so I personally thought that spiritual tools was a really big part of my own spiritual journey. And I wish I could talk more about myself, about as far as my spiritual awakening and all that stuff. But that's a long story. Baby.
Tell the people what they want to know. Story. What made you get into spirituality? What started your journey? What was the first thing? Because I've shared my story, and I would love for you to have the chance to put that on the floor and how your spiritual journey started. Approximately, when did it start and how?
Yeah. Well, it's crazy because, I never knew, what awakenings were, at all. And it seems once you have your first major one, you then, notice that, oh, I've had multiple, throughout, my time, being here on this beautiful earth. And it's really just, especially with the first major one, I felt it became the catalyst of growth. Honestly, for me, it is the pinpoint, the pinnacle of this is time for you to grow up. And it's and
we have many of those.
Exactly.
It's all right, time to grow from this.
It's not time to grow from this. Yeah, exactly. It's not just a one-time thing, but I know that especially that first major one, again, as I said, it's a really big catalyst for you to be able to finally, again, quote unquote, awaken and be able to become more self-aware and become more I don't really know the full words on it, because I remember when I first experienced it, I was what is this? What is going on? Why am I, continuing to beat myself up and to have all of these external, problems as well as internal problems. And it's just crazy. And I again, I won't get too deep into it, but I know, especially after that wave, I started looking externally for, that wisdom. And I think this is again, pivoting back to our thing about spiritual tools, because I had to learn that from others. Shout out to my college friends, at my community college, that ended up, you know, guiding me on that journey, because I don't think that if I wouldn't have had them, I wouldn't have been able to broaden my skills. One of the first things that, like, obviously in in starting, like, finding your spiritual tool is finding resonance, like, with, you know, with whatever tool ends up happening. Of course, tarot cards, oracle cards, those were like.
Which tool was your first tool? Like, what was the first tool you got into?
It was honestly, okay, so it's crazy because, even like in middle school, somebody gifted me a tarot deck. So like, so it was like, it felt like a full circle when like I came back around, like that I ended up getting it. Yeah, it was at the Scholastic Book Fairs. A shout out to like the ones who remember. Yeah, it was at a Scholastic Book Fair, and it was yeah, and somebody gifted me, one of my really good friends gifted me that, and like I thought it was really cool. Like I was like, I can tell the future, like, and all this stuff. Like obviously now I know, like there's so much more to that, but yeah, I think like it was just crazy to come full circle like upon that. And so again, pivot like to the you know, to my college days and like my college classmates who were into like tarot and finding that like stuff about their spirituality and stuff like that. I was honestly at the first moment, like I honestly was, and I don't know like if you've ever felt this way either, but I was skeptical. I was skeptical like on that. I mean, again, like I was like, what are these cards? You know, like you know, like these cards don't tell the future. Like they don't, you know, again, the brain likes to think logically about
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think I was opposite.
Really?
I wanted them. So yeah, my sister, not my sister. Okay, so at the time my brother was dating somebody, and I posted it on Facebook, and I said, if somebody get me some tarot cards for my birthday, I'll love you forever. I mentioned it in like my first episode, and she got them for me, and I was like, ooh, and like I just liked the pictures and stuff like that. So it was just something about them. Like, I don't know, I'm a real imaginative person. I'm like SpongeBob as human form, basically. So like I was like, yeah, I have to say it was different for me for sure. But I was just like,
yeah, like I honestly, like I again, like I was open-minded about it because I was taught, you know, like not to judge people's beliefs and stuff like that. But I think I did have that like initial skepticism to it because I was like, you know, what will these cards like have in store? And honestly, I remember my first reading, again, like shout out to Eden, that they basically were spilling out literally everything that was going on within my life and like everything that was truthful, and I was like, well, okay then. Like I was like it was just, and again, we were close like as friends, but like I never told my backstory or what I was going through or anything like that. So I think like especially, and then that obviously again made me want to learn about that. Like that was like the wisdom that like I was, I guess, again seeking, because like one of the big things is I feel, or I guess one of the key takeaways of tarot decks, oracle cards, stuff like that, it doesn't act as a predict. I always like to say like it doesn't, it's not, you're not doing it because like you're telling your own future. It is more of a big like psychological mirror that definitely reflects your choices and your own, like, you know, like your own persona basically.
I feel like it's giving you like different paths. Like, okay, so if you go this way, it can happen like this, but if you overthink and you feel this way, it's gonna happen like that. Like it's it really like that.
And it's like it ends up creating reflection for your own self. So it's no different than like, you know, journaling, you know, in a sense. It's just like these cards are helping you lay out about, you know, stuff that is going on.
And strengthening your connection to your spirit team overall.
Absolutely. Your intuition. Yeah. And so it's like, what is the best route for me? And like, how are my choices, you know, again, it's so hard to explain, but it's basically like a web. Like, how are my choices going to affect the outcome of, you know, so many things? Like, I think, again, like, one of the misreads is, again, that we can tell the future. And again, like, I will say a disclaimer that this is my own personal opinion, but I again think that, like, because there's just a web out there of choices that you immediately, you know, say if you end up taking a choice far on left field, you're branching out to, like, you know, 5, 6, 7, 10, 10
it's
choices.
Kind of like Spirit put in my head just now. It's kind of like That's So Raven. Like, when she got those visions, she always thought that she's like, okay, wait, this is gonna happen. But sometimes it was stuff that led up to it that didn't look the way like she thought it was going to be. But it did end up happening. But it was something that she had to do, or something that she done wrong that made this happen in the first place, her trying to prevent that from happening. So it's like basically like just being cool and letting everything like work out the way it's supposed to. Like,
yeah, and like that's why also, like, there's this whole other side of it that's like, you know, if I'm just going to use this as an example. Like, say if, like, you know, I was doing a reading to you and I was like, oh, it looks like that you are going to have, like, you know, a challenge about your car or something along the lines of that. You know, that doesn't mean to, like, panic. You know what I mean? Like, panic and, like, you know,
the challenge can be that your car ran out of gas.
Exactly. Exactly. Like, so, like, having, like, a fixated on, like, a solution, you know, there's just some things on the other side of the spectrum where things do have to play out.
Yeah, it's like a preparation thing. Like, it's not meant to scare you. And I notice a lot of people, when you mention doing like readings for them and stuff like that, they get scared and be like, oh my God. It's like, it's not for you to be scared. It's for you to be prepared when this thing happened. Like, it's for you to be able to ground yourself so you know how to accept it, so you'll know how to, you know, like, go about it. Like, that's not for to be scared. You're scared of the truth. Like, you're scared of the truth, you ain't gonna never make it in life, because, you know, the truth is what really sets you free. It really awakens you.
They see the tower and they go running.
No, for real, that tower card. People, if you know, you know. That tower,
if you know.
They be like, oh no, like, no, a building has to break down in order for it to be rebuilt. It has to. Like, that's what the tower moment is all about. Like,
we can get into, like,
look, individual card. We're gonna do a different episode of us getting into each individual tarot card. Let me know if you guys want me to do that. Like, let me know if you want me and Ali to get
like
it.
A 2-episode thing.
No, seriously, because we have to do like the major arcana and the minor arcana. We're gonna do one episode of major and one episode. We're gonna do that, y'all. We're gonna do that. Speaking of episodes that we also wanted to do in the future, we're gonna speak more on meditation and more on Reiki, which are very, very important spiritual tools that have helped both of us.
Absolutely.
When it comes to our spiritual journey, like, tremendously, for sure.
I am such a big, like, aficionado of meditation because of how it has changed my life. Like,
that's how we met, y'all.
Many ways, honestly.
That's how we met. Like, our love for meditation is how we met. We met each other at school here. And we basically, it was an event. It was like a welcome back type of event. And he was the president of the meditation club.
It was mindfulness.
Oh, mindfulness club. I'm sorry. Yeah, it was mindfulness
club. But we
club.
did meditate, like, in there.
Okay, my apologies. Yeah, so it's like the mindfulness club. My bad.
Okay.
And we was just like, as soon as I met him, I was like, oh, yeah, you meditate for sure. Because, like, his energy, like, grounded me, because I'm just like this. And he's just like, yeah. You know, like, he's really, like, cool.
Which is crazy, because I don't think I have any earth in my... It's mostly water.
I only have one earth in my chart. I only have one earth sign. I only have Capricorn.
I told you, like, I'm a watery fire sign.
Yeah, and I'm a fiery water sign. So, like, we compliment each other. Like, it's crazy. But, it's something else. But, Yeah, it's just, But basically, I know that you want to talk brush over a little bit when it comes to runes. That's how you say that word.
Yeah. And, like, I'm sorry, like, I also wanted to say that, like, even though we're talking, like, about these things like tarot cards and stuff like that, we're definitely going to talk about also, like, how to choose that spiritual tool that, like, genuinely, like, resonates with you as well. Like, I think especially I'm sorry, I just wanted to really close up on tarot reading too. Like, I really feel like if you are definitely looking that is something more loose and based upon your own intuition, I would definitely go like tarot card, oracle cards as well. Yes, there's
I would say more so, I don't know, so it depends, like you said, it depends. If you have I want to say ADHD in a way when it comes to like sitting down and learning what individual card, that can be something that's like a little bit challenging. Me personally, I prefer oracles.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's more straightforward. If you're the type of person that you want something that's straightforward and like let you know like, okay, what is going on, oracles is more so like straightforward. But yeah, both of them are very helpful.
It's very loosey too. Because like you would have like cards that say like, you know, love, sweetness, you know, stuff like that.
Get back to it. Get your stuff together. You can make your own oracle cards.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Same thing with tarot too. Like it's been a project on the back burner.
I know, right? Like, some people use in hoodoo they use I know we use like Spirit said shut up, never mind. Never mind. But I know people use different forms when it comes to tarot, so yeah, I'm just going.
The other thing too is like, again, that we can delve in deeply into like a really big topic is like Reiki as well. That definitely was a really big spiritual tool. Energy work in itself like was a really big thing also, that was once again like a further catalyst of like, you know, continuing to grow and continuing to go on this spiritual journey. But we won't delve too deep into that because like that's like, again, it's an episode and a half about that.
Absolutely.
The other, so like, again, going back to runes and like the earth tools, like those are more so like straying away from card systems in a sense. And there is also a very like historical, you know, like background with runes as well. I mean, same thing with tarot and oracle, but I feel like when you get down to it with runes, I think the really cool thing about runes is that you have people out there making their own set and like carving them, and like I've seen very, very beautiful rune sets as well. Again, I think like on the same level, I feel like runes are not meant for me. I do have them, but like it's not calling me. It's not calling me to do it.
I've never personally had them, so
and I think like again, like making them and like that whole creation like just furthers that intention of spiritual
I forgot
work.
Where did they originate from?
I think it was like from
it's at the tip of my tongue. I'm sorry, guys. We're trying to figure this out for you.
It was like Norse or like Celtic.
Okay.
I think it's Norse.
Okay.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Because like I remember I had this one reader who also did runes, and like he had a Thor, like Odin, stuff like that. Like like a big statue and like an altar and stuff like that.
Oh my god!
It was honestly a beautiful statue.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
I loved it.
Oh my gosh, I love that. So definitely, if you feel the connection with those gods and goddesses,
absolutely.
Yeah, that might be something that's a spiritual tool that may resonate and connect with you for sure. Ruins.
Yeah. Again, we can delve into like the history of everything on that, but again, we don't want this episode to go on like so long. but definitely, let's talk about like actually like the mechanisms and like the typical use of like a couple of these, because we also ended up not talking about like other things like elemental tools and pendulums and of course the really big one, astrology and numerology, like on top of that.
Because technically speaking, if you want to be technical, we really been doing spiritual practices for a long time. Ever since we knew what our sign was and been screaming, oh, my sign is this, and this sign is better than this, and this sign is better than that. That is a huge part of spirituality, being able to know, like, your signs. Definitely if you go deeper and you know your sun and your moon
Absolutely.
and your, like, all that.
I know that there's like a very, once again, like a very big skepticism, like about like all of that and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I think again, when people, I think it's once again like in combination with like tarot readings and stuff like that, like you have to be open-minded and like again think of it as you know, like as self-reflection and understanding like your traits, and you know, even though like you may not have those traits, you know, maybe it is time to lean into like, you know, that whole thing, or maybe it is time to, you know, I'm thinking of what is it that I saw like that was in my first house, or not my first house, it was something like that I like I didn't really like agree with, but then I was like, after looking at it, like I was like, oh, like, you know, I understand now, like this is just a different way of like thinking and thinking about the bigger picture of things.
You wanna know what's funny? When I got into my chart, I think the most funniest thing was I didn't care for most of the signs that I found out makes up certain signs in my chart, and then it's like I feel like that goes back to you basically like disliking certain things and people that you kind of really got within yourself in a way, but that's a conversation for another time, because I didn't, I was like, oh, I got this side of me, like, oh, okay, that's fine. But yeah, definitely dive in deeper into your astrology chart. It'll help you be able to unlock certain stuff that you feel stuck in. And definitely like just knowing at least your big three, at least knowing what your sun, you know what your sun sign for the most part, your moon sign and your rising, like those are really, really important. Knowing that, tapping into that energy, definitely that rising, tapping into your rising energy will bring out the star in you, baby. I'm a Sagittarius rising, and ever since I've been stepping into my I don't give a fuck energy, when I tell you shit been shifting. Wait, watch and see. Watch and see.
Yeah.
So yeah, most definitely tapping into that. We also wanted to like talk more. I know you wanted to talk more about pendulums. I love pendulums.
I have one too.
Yes.
Like actually, no, I have two. Like
really?
that was like, and I would say like pendulums. Like I think again like that's more so. I wouldn't call it an advanced tool, but I definitely feel that like you definitely have to have like a stronger like intention, like to kind of like understand it.
Yeah.
And you're basically like, you know, you're using your own energy and within your own self and like your subconscious and stuff like that to get answers. Of course, those answers can't be highly detailed, but like, you know, they are yes, no, maybe, you know, stuff like that. But that was also like another really big tool that like I again like I didn't really not that I don't resonate with, but I think again like because I always love like the details of the tea. Like I have to use, you know, like
quick
the
question
cards.
real quick. Like
Absolutely.
I used to use it to scare people. I ain't gonna lie. I used to use my pendulum to scare people because like with my brother and stuff, like I'll be like, yeah, like I feel this, and he like, yeah, okay, and I'm like, all right, bet I'm finna pull this pendulum out, and then when he see it move by itself, he's like, you moving your hand? I'm like, no, I'm not. This thing doing it itself, like it's just swinging back and forth, and it's just like, and it's been times like when I didn't have like a physical pendulum, I'll use my necklace too. I'll pray over it, and I'll just like talk to it and set intentions. And you can use your necklace, you can use a chain, you can use something like that, shoestring, like as long as you pray into it and you set intentions, it will move. Like you can use different things, different tools.
Yeah, so I think like another really big thing too, like on top of pendulum, is using like your elements. Basically, going back to the basic elements. I mean, you have hydromancy, you have pyromancy, aeromancy, geomancy, like, and I honestly, like, out of all of these four, one of the newest ones that, like, I kind of picked up that I ended up being taught by a class, which, let me tell you guys, like, that are out there that has, like, a lot of water stelliums, like, in your chart, I feel like, or, like, even if you feel attracted to the ocean or, like, the water itself, try out hydromancy, because I would have never I would have never guessed that, like, it would be that deep. And so hydromancy in itself, like, it's basically like it's almost like, and I totally forgot to put this on there, but I was gonna say tea leaf readings, like, in a sense, on the same like spectrum, and in a sense of, like, you're reading the water, you're scrying water, but, like, you're also, especially because water is so deeply rooted in emotion, like, you are reading emotion within the water, and, like, I've done a reading for you, Brittany.
I was just about to share
for
that connection. That reading was so powerful because it was so deep. It was so deep. I can elaborate a tiny bit on it, but I remember, like, the deeper he went into the water, the more deeper the reading became. Like, he told me that it was going to be a loss that's close to me. And I believe, like, a few months later, I ended up losing my uncle. And he was somebody that I loved near and dear. It was like a huge father figure for me after my father passed away. So rest in peace, Uncle Rob. I love you. He's now a beautiful ancestor for me now. My protector. I appreciate him. But that hydromancy was amazing, because you got to think about water. We come for water. We literally live in water until we are born for 9 months in our mother's womb. Like, we come from that. So it's just like, go deeper into that energy, like using it to cleanse you, like using water is a very, very powerful tool when it comes to, like, this being spiritual.
Absolutely. Yeah. And, like, I, again, like, it was one other thing that, like, I was, like, skeptical on, but until, like, I started working with it, like, understanding it and feeling these deep emotions, especially, I'm gonna share, like, our experience with you, like it really is going down to the pure, like, emotion, like, the deep emotions, the deep
me
cry. Water. It made me cry. Like, because you feel it. You definitely feel it, like. And so that's another, you know, like, pros and cons, like, of doing hydromancy. If you don't want to, like, feel feelings, like, that, like, maybe that's not the
Cancer, baby. I love to feel my feelings.
Absolutely. I have, like, Scorpio stellium and Pisces stellium.
Oh,
like,
Yep. If you don't feel, you can't heal. If you don't feel it, you can't heal it. What Landrell said, okay. For real. So I feel like definitely water is something that we definitely going to touch on in the future in a whole nother episode, because water is so important. Like,
what are your feelings about, like, pyromancy and aeromancy?
I love fire.
Like, absolutely.
Burn.
Like, I mean, like, even like, burning letters. I mean, I think, like,
it's something about it
that has great energy and great release, like, coming from it as well.
Yes, and also, like, just lighting a candle, the peace, because you got to think about it. Like, even back then, like, I remember watching my mom light some candles around the tub and being able to get, like, in the tub and just, like, relax and everything. And we didn't know back then that was, like, a way of her spiritually cleansing herself when she got into that tub, with the fire being around, the candles being around, just setting intentions. That was basically letting in her spirit team, basically, without her even subconsciously knowing it. Like, just that connection to the flame. Like, there's been times, like, I'll look at the flame and I'll just be like, I'll ask them a question and the flame will, like, move yes or no. Like, it'll tell me. It'll move like a pendulum. Yeah. It's dope. Yeah, I love pyromancy.
I'm not too, like, again, knowledgeable about aeromancy. I did end up putting it, like, as, like, a topic, but, like, I've seen, like, on videos and stuff that, like, y'all know, like, Avatar: The Last Airbender, like, with, like, the airbending and stuff. Like, I've seen, like, I don't remember what her name is, but, like, I remember seeing that she's like one with the wind. Like, it is. I want to do it so bad.
It's funny. I was just talking to a friend last night, and me and him was, like, talking about how we wanted to, like, be one of those people where they do, like, you be seeing, like, those videos of people with a piece of paper that start off with paper and then they'll work their ways to like trees and stuff, and they'll like move the wind like this, like they actually physically able to connect to their inner power, and they'll make like they'll start off with foil, then they'll start off with paper, and then they'll go to something bigger where they'll actually do. I think it's telekinesis, basically. Like
in a sense,
it's dope.
Yeah, I mean, like again, it's energy. Everything is energy. So like, it's
dope.
Crazy that
we got superpowers, y'all.
Yeah, we really do.
We really do.
We don't like.
Don't be afraid.
We just don't know it. Yeah, like I guess again, like it takes time to be able to unlock like that potential.
Yeah.
Like in a sense.
Yeah.
The other thing is like again the same thing like geomancy, grounding yourself. I've seen people also read stones as well, not to be confused with runes, but like actually read just stones like themselves as well. Just casting like stones.
I've never heard about that before. That's dope. I love that.
Yeah, and so like I guess other mechanisms like for I know we talked about a little bit about astrology and numerology. You know, those are more complex systems. You know,
another episode within itself.
Mapping energies, life cycles, natal potential, stuff like that. So now like that we gave you like a little brief overview about like, you know, about these different kinds of tools. But and again, there's multiple of them. It was very hard to like pick and choose. Like I said, like I completely missed tea leaf reading, and I know that's like a really big thing too.
Yeah,
like,
it is.
Honestly, it's not for me. I've tried it like once before, but I think I have that one thing where like I can't see pictures like in the thing. But you know, I think the other aspect of it is practice makes perfect, and that's definitely with any of these spiritual tools. Like, it's not something that's just gonna like, you know, happen overnight and you're gonna be, you know, an expert on that, because that is the journey. That is like
that is so true. I'm sorry, I forgot.
No, you're good.
I forgot another tool that I actually had like some person use, and I know some people have a use to, and they're not knowledgeable that it is a tool and it can be a tool. Some people use weed, some people use mushrooms as a tool to be able to connect to their inner self. Recently I have got into the journey of tapping in, like doing weed, but setting intentions, only taking like, it's basically like microdosing, but with weed. Like, you know, most people microdose with mushrooms. I don't have much knowledge about mushrooms. I haven't did it myself yet. But basically with weed, I have found myself being able, I'll set intentions before smoking and say, hey, I'm doing this with the intention of connecting with my higher self. And I felt like I was able to hear and connect with my ancestors and my higher self much more, and being able to have that deeper level. And I feel like it helped connect me and actually like learn how it feels to not have any doubts, to not have any like, to have no worries and everything. Actually like being able to like manifest even like harder, because it's just there. Like, you just basically doing whatever comes to mind. You doing what feels right for you, and that's how your higher self work in the first place. So that's just my personal journey when it comes to, I just want to mention those tools as a shout out. When I was high on it, and basically like I remember my ancestors telling me like, yeah, weed is meant to basically be used as a spiritual tool. It's not meant to some and I'm not judging anybody. Whatever you feel is right for you, that's not for me to judge. But me personally, I realize that it can sometimes be a hinder, because sometimes it can be used as an escape from life itself. And it's like, I feel like it has so many more benefits to it than to just be an escape. You can really use it to really work things in your way, and we don't understand like what the power holds for when it comes to smoking weed and like the benefits of it sometimes and everything. So or eat it, edible, you know what I mean? But I've noticed like my first time when I first did it when I was younger, I didn't know how to set intentions or anything, so it made my anxiety go crazy, and I was like, oh God, what's going on? I don't like this and I don't like this. But when I learned how to set intention while doing it, I was like, oh, I like this is better. But it's not nothing I would do all the time. but it's just something that I have used as a spiritual tool for sure. So
Yeah.
shout out to that.
I would just was like gonna touch up upon like, because it's in the same, I guess like in a sense in the same realm of meditation like as well, because I just was gonna touch on like we're only using a certain percentage of our brain. And so like, and I again, like I have no ill will, like, you know, again, you do you, like, we know that there's no, but like, I, again, to have something that unlocks, you know, other aspects of our brain.
Yeah.
And we've seen also in history as well,
Yeah.
I mean, of them using different plants and herbs and
Yeah.
stuff like that, which again, like that's a whole historical, you know,
Herbs
thing.
is another tool that we didn't even get a chance to really connect on. Like it's so many different tools that we like really had no idea about. Like it's crazy. Like
yeah.
That's cool.
So I guess now that we've like kind of gave you like, even though it feels like it's a long overview about all of these different tools, again, it's very hard to pick and choose like, you know, certain ones. Now let's like get into the core thing about like how to choose, you know, your spiritual tool.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the really biggest things that you want to ask yourself, you know, when you're going towards this is, well, one of the points is, what is your learning style? Like, are you a visual thinker? Like, think about, you know, complex symbolisms and imagery. You know, I feel like that would be towards, you know, tarot and oracle cards. That definitely will like be a really big thing for you. Or are you a tactile or like a primal like learning where like you have to like have, you know, stuff in your hands, and or you have to feel that connection. So like, think about, again, as we said, like runes. I touched a little bit on geomancy using like the pebble stuff. We've also, I've also seen bone casting, like as well, charm casting, like stuff like that. I've even seen people use Scrabble tile pieces. Like, you know, it's really
and some
about.
people use cowrie shells. I have did cowrie shells before. It's beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like, it's again like that's in
your
that
background
realm.
and
In that realm of things.
Yeah.
Are you like an auditory or like conceptual learner? So you're looking at complex structures or maybe even patterns and challenges and stuff like that. That's more astrology and numerology. I think that would also like I mean, I guess in connection, your natal charts and stuff like that. Like, you need things to be more complex. Like, I guess for you, and you love learning about, yourself and other people. I know that's a really big thing, like about that too.
Yeah.
The other thing is the kinetic or like the flow of things. Is that your learning style? So, understanding movement and the natural rhythm of nature, like as well. So we're talking about once again all of those elemental tools, like once again, but like also like the pendulum, because that's also part of like allowing things to go into flow as well. The next thing is like, I guess the next point that you would want to ask yourself is also, what kind of an answer are you seeking for yourself? Do you want to do a deep dive or like a really big narrative like for yourself? I would go to tarot, and I would also, once again, like I would go to your natal chart and understanding, you know, the background of things and finding reflection into that, especially within your own personal journey. For something quick and, you know, directional clarity. I mean, you touched on this, Brittany. Oracle cards.
Yep.
Pendulum. Like, it's very simple, very yes or no, very what's going on, very like,
It's for my people that's learning to be more patient.
Yes. The other thing is like, if you're looking for a more focused, or once again like a very primal energy focused connection and answer, then definitely once again using runes, because I feel like, again, like and like we kind of touched a little bit before, is like, especially if you have connection with a specific god or something like that, it's once again, it's the connection of that, and like being able to cast the stones, or like on the other side of things, like we were talking about pyromancy, or again our affinity for hydromancy. I mean, you just have a single elemental observation. So if that's definitely, more your style, and once again, in wanting that connection, I feel like the next question, like, to even ask yourself too, is because I feel like this also connects into your spirituality, and I feel like everybody, well, I mean, again, depending on the person, but like, I feel like everybody definitely should understand their own culture and like their own roots, and like also the very big historical connection that comes from all of these tools. You can't just, I mean, again, like, no judgment to anybody who hasn't looked into the history of stuff, but I definitely feel like it is a very big matter to understand where it's all coming from.
Yeah.
Again, a very, very big point that definitely will take
and just because your historical or cultural background doesn't necessarily come from what you prefer to like practice and everything, that doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong by necessarily practicing, but it's also best to just have the knowledge and the respect for the culture as a whole. Because I haven't limited myself to just anything that's just from Africa. Like, I've also touched into Buddhism. I've also touched into gods and goddesses and Hinduism. So it's like, it doesn't necessarily, like, it's just you trying to like narrow stuff down when you first starting off. It's the best way to like kind of start off, basically.
Absolutely. Like, there's no, like, you definitely want to feel, definitely something that you're being pulled towards, whether that is spiritually or even ancestrally, like you said. And again, like with the tool origins, with again, like with runes, like, do you want like that Norse background, or again with tarot, there's like esoteric renaissance that comes from tarot itself. Again, like, very long history, so we won't get into that. The other thing is just a simple, the other point that you need to ask yourself, or I guess do, is what I like to call is like the spark test, which is the very simplest thing of what physically calls to you, what one makes you stop and feel an immediate connection. I remember when I ended up getting my first tarot deck, again, shout out to like my college friends, like, and they were like, you just need to actually sit there and feel the deck. And I know there's like so many different rules about like you said, like gifting tarot decks and picking it out for yourself and doing this stuff. Do what feels right to you, because like, I think especially when it comes down to that, it is about the connection itself and what feels right to you.
You really want to pick it up and feel the energy of
absolutely.
it, and make sure y'all energy match in the first place.
And I will say this, that like, it also does not matter where it is at from, because I got my first deck at TJ Maxx. Out of all of them, it's at TJ Maxx, and I still have that deck, and I love that deck like so much, because like, it is my first deck, and on top of that, I also got the matching Oracle deck, because I had to. But I felt connection. Like, I felt immediate connection, like, to that. And I really, again, like, once again, like, I was super skeptical. And then I was like, oh, I actually feel something. This is crazy. Like, I actually saw something, like, when I ended up, like, closing my eyes. And then, like, my friend was like, that means that it's meant for you. That means that this pathway is meant for you on top of that. So it was crazy. So I think definitely, so sometimes even our spiritual tools choose us. Like, we'll do, like, the opposite end of that, because, like, I think, like, again, people need to, like, figure out, or maybe they'll have the same experience as I did, where, like, maybe in the past, it was brought up within their life, and then they never looked at it again, and then, like, it comes back around and be like, hey, like, how y'all do? I guess, again, like, I feel like when the tool chooses you, it's definitely the correct decision as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
And you definitely have to start, you definitely have to start somewhere, and you have to start with genuine attraction, like to that tool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we basically, with all that said and done, we also just wanted to like remind you guys that the biggest spiritual tool is really you. The power is within you.
Absolutely.
You are what makes the tool. The tool works for you. So this is just like stepping stools, and even if it's just something you just feel comfortable with, just always having. But me personally, in my journey, I am getting to the point where I want to be able to intuitively just be able to speak and trust myself and be able to just do intuitive readings and not have to have the tools to be able to do that. So once you build, it's like really, it's a trust game. It's you building trust within yourself as you using these tools. And when you get to that point where you just completely trust yourself, it comes a point in time where those tools is like kind of weaning off of them, basically. Like they're like your crutches, basically. They're your training wheels. So overall, the power is within you. Crystals don't work without your energy. The cards don't work without your energy. Like the pendulum, everything does not work without your energy. You are what makes you powerful. You are that battery that makes those tools work for you in the first place. So
Yeah.
that's definitely something that, yeah.
I guess really quick to like touch on too, like unlike my experience, especially with tarot reading and stuff, I felt like I had to like take like 3, 4, 5 classes in order to be an expert. And it wasn't until I ended up taking a class. Again, I will shout out to this person. It was on a Udemy site, and it was Julian Jenkins.
Oh, cool.
Using your intuition to be able to read the cards. And so one of the very big things that I ended up learning like from that is that you have to put trust in yourself also as well. You have to trust the first message. Don't overthink, don't overthink like it could mean this, it could mean that, it could mean that. Just let things flow. Don't overthink about that. Like logic always follows feelings.
Yeah, and to be honest, I'm completely honest with y'all. I still don't know I don't know the proper meanings of each card. I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm more of an intuitive reader. Whatever I feel that I get from that picture, really, the cards is really for show when it comes to me giving readings for people, because people like to be able to like see stuff, and that's okay. That's how I am. I like seeing pictures and everything. So I'm more of an intuitive person when it comes to me when I do my readings, and I'm just telling you what I feel is right in my soul, what I'm getting from this message, because I never really I sat down and skimmed over the book when it comes to like the cards, but for the most part, I never really tried to actively study me personally. So I feel like early on it was definitely teaching me, and obviously with you too, with you having to take the classes and everything, it was teaching us early on that the power is just within you. You just know what you know without even really knowing the meaning of the card. Like it's really, the meaning is within you and what you get from that energy of that person. That's really what it is.
Definitely. So I really encourage you guys that are listening and watching that definitely, yes, those other 3 points are really important, but I think again, it all dwindles down to is doing that spark test and feeling really what connects with you guys ultimately. Definitely again, I don't know if you mind, Brittany, or not, but if anybody is listening to this, I would love to see everybody else's experiences and stuff. If they choose to comment below on the video and stuff like that, and to share what tool resonates with them, or if they're just starting out, then definitely give us a holler and to see what truly resonated.
And let us know what tools that you would like for us to elaborate on more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, we can definitely like sit down and just give y'all guys a complete like conversation of how to work with certain tools that you may be interested in. Like, you guys can comment below and let us know what you feel based on what you heard. Hey, I think this tool might work for me. In what ways, like, do I work with it or anything? Like, if you have any questions when it comes to that, comments and concerns, we definitely got you. Guys, we are so grateful for each and every one of you for listening to us today.
Thank you for putting up with me.
It's so easy. Like, y'all see, we like yin and yang. I'm loud and he's like very like quiet and like he's like really zen, and he's like the yin to my yang, for real, y'all. Like, I'm so happy that you came on here today in the first place and show your very beautiful face and beautiful energy to match. And I'm just excited to have you on this episode today. I love you guys. I appreciate you. If you ever want a reading from me or from Alejandro, you can definitely get in contact with us. My business is Gwendolyn's Peace. My website is gwendolyn'speace.org. You can also hit me up on Instagram, beautiful_Brit with 2 T's, 17. So definitely, if you want to get in touch with me, you know where to find me. I got you. Hit me up. Shoot an email. Ali, how can I reach you?
So I do readings like on the side, and even though I am slowly
coming out of his
creating like my own personal thing here, I am gonna shamelessly plug also my art my art site. But so I will use it for both businesses. It is axcosmos.art.
Can you spell it out for him?
Yeah, it's AXCOSMOS. Then .art.
Yes.
.art. I am only on Instagram, so that is the only platform that I really use. But I would be happy to receive your guys' messages and following, and again, I'm very grateful for having this opportunity with Brittany as well.
Yes, I love it. It's so beautiful. Ali is an amazing reader. He is my personal reader. Because me personally, I prefer not to read myself because I'm biased. You can be a biased person when you're doing a reading for yourself. So me personally, I have somebody that I like to go to and get a reading from. And for the most part, Ali is my person. So we just like bounce off each other.
Yep, it's vice versa.
I need your help, right?
That's what happens when you have spiritual friends.
I love it. I love it here.
And honestly, community, really, it's
a beautiful thing. It's a blessing.
Well, thank you so much, Brittany.
Of course. Thank you. I appreciate you, Ali.
Love you.
Thank y'all so much for tuning in. We appreciate you. Again, we love you. Thank you for spending time with us today. Bye.